Hey there, welcome. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Jenna. If not, welcome back. I have been making quite a lot of purchases this year, and I go through phases where I buy a lot of stuff and then I kind of stop buying stuff, and I've realized that I'm not the best at keeping track of the products that I'm buying, and I will quite often forget to mention any of these products, regardless of whether they're good or not. So I decided, I think it was in March, I decided that I was going to start making note of all of my purchases, and then I would, I guess, do a roundup of those products a month or two afterwards, once I had had time to use them and to really get to know the product and decide whether I like them or not. So that is what I'm doing today. These are all products that I purchased in February. So I've had a really good chance to use all of these products and gather my thoughts on them. Most of them are pretty good, most of them I do enjoy, but there are a couple that I very much dislike. So we will talk about that, and it's kind of all mishmashed in together. So let's get into it. Actually, before I get into that, I would like you to meet Delilah Strawberry. Isn't she precious? So this is our new puppy. She's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. She's 9 weeks at the moment, and she's very, very cute. And she currently has the zoomies, and I'm trying to teach her not to chew power cords, which is very fun. So if you hear little growls and little zoomy footsteps, that's her. All right, now let's actually get into the products. So the first product is one that I've already done a video on. It is the Maybelline Lifter Plump and Glow foundation. If you have seen that video, you would know that I love this product. Basically, the more I use it, the more I love it. I'm also wearing all of these products on my face today. Well, most of them, because some of them are double up categories. Anyway, this one I have already done a video on, very in depth, talk about wear notes and everything like that. So I won't really get into it today, but I do love this foundation. I am probably 3/4 of the way through. I've only got about this much left in here. So love this. Check out my other video if you want in-depth review, but short story is I love it, and it sits right here. I wear it almost every single time I do my makeup. So love. Next one is the Maybelline Lifter Concealer. I didn't get this at the same time as the foundation, but I think I got it a couple of weeks afterwards. This is a little bit of an unusual product, and I think having the word, where is it? It says it is, that's in French, full coverage serum concealer. I think having serum in the name or the description of it is a little bit misleading, because when it says serum in the product description or the product name, people are always going to automatically assume that it is to do with the texture. I understand why they put it in here. One, it's marketing, but also I believe there are serum-esque type products in here. It's more to do with the skincare benefits that have been infused in here rather than the actual texture of the product. So I think that can be a little bit misleading, because this isn't a serum-y product. All right, I didn't realize that I hadn't put my little lamp thing lights on over there. Anyway, I had to change my battery because, of course, that was going flat. What was I talking about? Serum concealer. So I think having the word serum in the name can be a little bit misleading, because it will make people think that it is to do with the texture, and this is not a serum-y texture. This is a full coverage concealer. I would agree with that. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I've only applied a small amount, but this is what the texture of the product looks like. It's definitely not serum-y. Have you ever seen those products that have like a serum kind of mixed into a makeup-y product, and you can see them, I guess, like separate a little bit? That's kind of the feeling that I get from this, or like how it looks when I'm applying it to the back of my hand. It kind of sits more on top of the skin than a regular concealer, but it blends out nicely. So this is what it actually looks like on the back of my hand. And then when you start to blend it in, it does feel quite creamy and it does blend in nicely. Like I said, I've got it on under my eyes today. It blends out nicely and it doesn't look super heavy on my skin or anything like that. Although if I put too much of the product on, it can sometimes look a little bit heavy, but that's not atypical of pretty much any concealer anyway. But yeah, it is nice. It's not my favorite, but it's not a bad concealer in any way. But it's also not serum-y in texture. So if you are expecting this to feel serum-y or to go on serum-y and be like really light and kind of liquidy, this isn't going to be the product fit. Like, this isn't going to do that. If you're after a more lightweight, liquidy, like serum-y type of concealer, the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum is very, very nice. I have used up an entire one of those concealers. I love that so much. So I would recommend that one. But if you're looking for something that is going to be hydrating, it's not going to look super heavy or cakey, but you want more full coverage, then I think this one is a good one. Moving on to the CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer Bronzer. That is what it looks like. I have the shade 300 Honey Bun, which I believe is the lightest shade. I really, really like this. I have actually had to kind of force myself not to use this and to use other products because I've been enjoying it so much. A lot of people say that it is very comparable to Hourglass. I mean, it looks kind of like an Hourglass product because of the marbling. I would say that that is true, but this actually has less glitter in it. I have an Hourglass ambient lighting palette right here. So this is the ambient lighting 2. Yeah, volume 2. So it is, the bronzer itself is a little bit darker than this, but what I do is I kind of mix them all together to get my bronzy shade. That's what the ambient lighting looks like. And then this is what the CoverGirl looks like. So they are fairly similar and they both have that nice like glowy sort of look to them. The main difference that I have noticed between the two of these is that the Hourglass, it has actual like sparkles in it. I don't know if you can see them. I can't see them on there, but you might be able to. So this actually has glitter particles or sparkle, loose sparkle in it, which I am actually not a fan of. I prefer not to have sparkle in any of my base products. Love it on my eyes, of course, but not on the rest of my face. But yeah, the Hourglass one has glitter or like sparkle particles in it, loose sparkle, whereas the CoverGirl one doesn't. Another thing that I've noticed, which is very, very subtle, and honestly you probably won't even notice once it's applied to the skin, is that you can see the luminosity in the powder of the CoverGirl one, whereas apart from the loose sparkles in the Hourglass one, you can't actually see the luminosity or like the shimmer or the pearlescence in the powder itself. It just looks like somebody's doing yard work. It just looks more like naturally glowy, the Hourglass one does, compared to the CoverGirl. But honestly, I've worn both of them. I enjoy both of them just as much as one another. You don't need to go out and buy an Hourglass palette. I think if you're looking for the same sort of like youthful glow but not glittery look, then the CoverGirl one will definitely be good enough. I don't think that you would even really be able to tell the difference between the two on the skin, to be completely honest. I have really been enjoying this, mainly because it's very easy to use. It's not super pigmented to the point where I have to be careful using it. I can use different brushes. Like today I used a more like dense sort of brush. I've also used really fluffy brushes, and it works well with any of those. Very nice product. Wait until it's on sale, because it's like $24 or $25, so don't pay full price, get it on a sale. Moving on to a product that I do not like. It is the Revlon Photo Ready Skin Tint, Lift and Fill Skin Tint. Yeah, this just did not work for me. It enhanced texture, it enhanced the look of my pores, and I don't think that I have large pores. Like, I have pretty standard looking pores. This just made them look enormous because the product actually settles into the pores and then just, you know, lights them up essentially. It is very unflattering on my skin. I think if I were to use this extremely sparingly, it would be fine. But yeah, it's very easy to go overboard with this product, and then it just looks so bad. The other thing I don't like about it is there is sparkle in here. It's not like sparkle with the Hourglass palette. There is something in my eyeball, but it is more of a shimmer, but you can see the shimmer. And then when I apply it on my face, if I touch my face at any point, I just have shimmer all over my hand where I've touched my face. It is just not flattering. And I may just not be the target audience for it. But yeah, I do not like this. I would not recommend it. I'll even put some on the back of my hand to try and show you. The first time I used it, I actually didn't mind it. I thought it looked pretty, but I used a very small amount of it. And then every time after that, I hated it. But like, it looks pretty good on the skin like that. Look how nice and luminous that is. But it just settles in to everything, and you can see the physical like shimmer particles in it. I don't want to have that type of shimmer. I've got other products that I have in my collection that are luminous like this, but they don't, like, you can't see the shimmer in them, and they're a lot more flattering. If you have this product and you have the same feelings about it as I do, one thing I think, or one way I think you would be able to use it up, is maybe using it as a primer or mixing it in with a more matte foundation. I'm not going to do that because I just could not be bothered. This is probably just going to go straight in the bin, unfortunately. Again, I may not be the target audience for it, but yeah, really not a fan. Let me know if you have used this. Let me know your thoughts, and if you made it work, how did you do it? I would really like to know, because I just can't get it to work for me to look flattering in any way. Moving on to some products that I do really like, and I say products because I bought 4 of the same sort of product. It is the new Maybelline Serum Lipsticks. I have 2 different finishes because they come in 2 different finishes. The grey ones are matte. The pink ones are a satin finish. I really like these lipsticks. The satin one is It feels moisturizing or nourishing on the lips, but it doesn't slide around everywhere. The formula of them isn't anything groundbreaking. The serum, the satin finish ones are a typical satin formula. The mattes are a typical matte formula, although I don't find them overly drying like I do other matte lipsticks with a matte finish. So for example, Revlon, I'm not picking on Revlon here, I love a lot of their products, but this one here, this is the Revlon Color Stay Suede Ink. I love these lipsticks because they do not budge. They are very, very long lasting, but they do feel quite drying on the lips. Whereas the Maybelline ones, not as long lasting, but more comfortable on the lips. I don't feel like they've sucked all of the moisture out of them. They're still a matte lipstick, so they still will feel a little bit like powdery or drying on the lips, especially if you have really dry lips like I tend to. On my lips today, I'm wearing Hold the Door, which is one of the matte formulas, and you can see that it's not overly drying. I have pretty lined lips anyway, but it's not exacerbating that. It's not enhancing the texture on my lips or anything like that. I kind of feel like it looks like a standard lipstick. So I really enjoy these. Hold the Door is probably my favorite for a dark lip, and then Upstate, which is the satin formula. This is like the perfect everyday nude lip for me. I've been trying to figure out why I like these so much more than pretty much any of my other standard lipsticks. And I think it's actually the undertones with these products. A lot of other nude lipsticks that I've tried in the past have more of like a peachy or a pinky base to them or undertone to them. Whereas these, they kind of lean more neutral or purple, and I just find that really, really flattering. So I love these, would recommend. Moving on to another product that I did not enjoy. It is the NYX Smooshy Matte Lip Balm. This is a product that I really wanted to like, but unfortunately I do not. This is an unusual product. I've just put some on the back of my hand here. So it kind of has a silicone primer type of texture to it. But my main issue with this is that it dries my lips out. Not immediately. When I initially put it on, it just kind of feels like a silicone based primer, and it doesn't feel dry, but after like a couple of minutes to maybe even up to half an hour, it dries my lips out so much, and it's very uncomfortable on the lips. Like I just feel like, especially like the inner sort of rim of my lips feels extremely dry to the point where I have to remove it. It is such an unusual product. But yeah, I can't wear it. I've worn it a few times, and I have always had to remove it after a little while because I just can't wear it. It's very uncomfortable to wear. I really wish they would reformulate this so that it had some more hydration in it. I love the fact that it's matte because it looks lovely on the lips. I just can't get past the texture, the feeling of it. The dryness that I get from it basically. So that is a hard pass for me. Next is a product that I did enjoy. This is the NYX the Face Glue. I really enjoy this. This is a gripping primer, but it's not as grippy as a lot of other gripping primers I've used. It doesn't feel as tacky on the skin, and it doesn't it doesn't grab onto your foundation to the point where it's going to look patchy. You know, it's going to look heavy in one spot and then look like there's nothing in another spot, because I have had that issue with other gripping primers where they just grip in places and then not in others, and it makes my foundation look uneven. But I don't have that issue with this. I don't find that it's grabbing onto my makeup too much, but it does help with the longevity of my makeup. So I really enjoy this. One critique I have about this is the packaging. I understand it's supposed to be a theme. It's supposed to look like a little bottle of glue, but it's just the lid. It's kind of, I guess, too short, and it feels unnatural to remove it and to put it back on because it's small. It's like stubby. The first time I opened this, I thought it was a pull top, and I tried to pull it off, and then I unscrewed it and the whole thing came off, and then realized that it's just this small one. But sometimes if I tighten it too tightly, the whole lid will come off, or it just, I don't know, there's just something about it that I don't enjoy. I don't hate it, but there's just something that feels kind of off about it. I wish that they would have maybe made this a little bit longer or made it a push top rather than a twist. I know that a twist is more is better because it's not going to come off as easily. It's not going to stop me from using the product, and it's not going to stop me from recommending the product because the product itself is very, very good. It's just, that's like a me issue, really. But yeah, really, really like the product. Very, very good. Okay. Now onto the final product that I purchased in February, and that is the Old Soul Old Soul by Glaminatrix. This is such a good eyeshadow palette. I hesitated purchasing this because I just thought, it's like a neutrally sort of palette. I'm not too sure if I'd really like this. I love this palette. I have only just put it back on I've got all of my eyeshadows up here, but I have a separate little thing for the eyeshadows that I'm currently using down here. I just put this back up in my main collection because I was only using this. I didn't want to use anything else. So I need to use my other palettes, and I have some new ones that I've just gotten over the last couple of days. But I love this palette. This shade here, this shade here, this shade here, which who would have thought that I would love just like a grey, but I have really been loving this. I actually have this on my eyes today. So I've got this on the outer corner, and then I used this pink in the inner corner, and then I think I used this glitter here, and then some of this mixed with this, like in the brow bone area. Oh, it's such a good palette. I've actually recorded a video with this palette where I explain the collection. I show off it comes with a collectible coin. I talk about the collection, and then I do a look with it. So I haven't finished editing that one yet, but I will put it up. So stay tuned if you want to see that video. But yeah, love this palette. It's very, very nice. If it's still available, I would highly recommend. It's not cheap. I believe it's about $95, but that's pretty standard for Glaminatrix because they're an indie brand. They're Australian. Anyway, it's an Australian indie brand. So yes, I love this palette, would highly recommend. Spoiler alert for the next video. But yeah, very good palette. The mattes blend extremely well. The shimmers in here are beautiful, which I wouldn't expect anything less with Glaminatrix's formula because they do phenomenal shimmers, except for like the squishy ones. They can be a bit annoying. That's just a side tangent. Anyway, that is enough of my rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love for you to share your thoughts down below. If you have any of these products, if you agree with my thoughts. If not, let me know. Also, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. That would be amazing. But yeah, other than that, thanks so much for hanging out with me today and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.